The incident I have just described to you, in which the Virgin Queen Elizabeth was saved from almost certain death by a feat of daring, completely unachievable today by even the greatest Olympic athlete, is only one of the many deeds of high drama which have been enacted upon the stage of this historic staircase. Not all of them, alas, were so happy in their outcome. The ensuing century was in every way darker, and the doings on this staircase were correspondently more murky. It was upon these very stairs, 100 years later, that in the most terrible of all events connected with this house occurred on Midsummer morning, 1689. This day was intended to celebrate the marriage of Miss Arabella Fustian to the handsomest young lordling in the region. The bride was a radiantly beautiful girl of 18, the catch of the county, as she was called. On the morning of her wedding, her father, Sir Nicholas, stood exactly where I stand now, waiting to escort his only daughter to the church. The door of the bedchamber opened above, and stepped out this exquisite creature in a miasma of white samite. It's not hard to imagine her father staring up at her, tears welling in his old eyes. She about to descend these stairs for the last time, a maiden. And then, suddenly, a terrible drumming is heard, a frantic pounding on the oak gallery, and toward her, galloping at full speed, is Charger, the faithful wolfhound of the family, wild with excitement and smelling the nuptial baked meats roasting in the kitchen below. In his hurtling frenzy, he knocks the girl aside. She staggers, flails the air, shoots out her hand for the banister, which is, alas, too far from her, and falls headlong after the beast, her lovely body rolling like a cloud down the 15 stairs, you see, until the last one, with appalling jolt, comes to rest at her father's feet. No Mercury he, but ancient and arthritic, he stoops to touch her. Dead? No, the saints be praised. Her neck is unbroken. The dreadful echo of the gesture with which his ancestor won the family title, he catches the girl up in his arms and, watched by the agonized dog, carries her upward to her room, a room she was never to leave again. Arabella regained consciousness, yes, but her legs, which had ever danced, which had danced the gavotte and the Scotch jig as no leg had ever danced them, were now twisted beneath her in mockery of the love knots which grabbed the plaster ceiling above you. By her own choice, the girl immured herself in that chamber up there for life, receiving no visitors, but howling incessantly the marriage hymn which had been specially composed for her by Henry Purcell himself. The family chronicle records that her attendants were all likewise distorted. Now I quote it for you. The wretched lady would employ as domestics only those who were deformed in the legs and haunches, knotted women, bunchbacks, swivel hips, and such as had warpage and osseous misalignment of the limbs. Servants of all shapes clawed their way daily up the staircase, which was now known no longer as the staircase of aggrandizement, but the staircase of wound and woe. This name has retained ever since.
This is intolerable.
I beg your pardon?
I find this absolutely intolerable.
I don't understand.
Miss Dufay, is it not?
Yes, that's my name, yes.
Yes, well, I would like to speak to you at once, please, in private.
On what subject?
I said private, please.
I find this extremely odd. I'm not used to having my tours interrupted with brusque demands.
Oh, would you please excuse us now? It is most urgent that I speak to this lady alone. The tour is at an end at this point anyway, I believe.
It is. But its conclusion is a graceful adieu, not an abrupt dismissal. And it is spoken by me.
I'm sorry, but I really have to insist. Please forgive me. But I do have the most imperative business with this lady. Please.
Well, it seems I have to let you go, regrettably without ceremony. What can be so urgent as to preclude manners? I cannot imagine. Well, I do hope you have all enjoyed yourselves. The way out is over there. You will find placed by the end a Staffordshire soup bowl into which, if you care to, you may deposit such tokens of appreciation as you feel inclined to give. Thank you and goodbye. Goodbye. Bye.
You are not permitted to receive tips, I believe.
I do not regard them as that.
What then?
What I call them. Some people are appreciative in this world. They warm to the thrilling and romantic aspects of our great history.
Others, however, warn to accuracy, Mr. Fay, and others again, a few, are empowered to see that they receive it.
I don't understand you.
Myself, for example, my name is Miss Schoen, and I work for the Preservation Trust in the Personnel Department.
Oh.
Reports have been coming in steadily for some time now of bizarre inaccuracies in your tour here. Gross departures from fact and truth. I have myself today heard with my own ears a generous sample of what you've been giving to the public, and every one of those reports falls far short of what you are actually doing. I can hardly think of one statement you made in my presence that is correct.
The gastronomic references for a start. They are all correct. I would like you to know that I am an expert in Elizabethan cuisine.
I am not talking about the gastronomic references, which in any case form no part of your official recital. Today I listened to a farrago of rubbish unparalleled, I should say, by anything ever delivered by one of our employees. The whole story of John Christian's leap upstairs, for example, concluding with his actually feeding fried hedgehogs into Queen Elizabeth's mouth directly from his fingers. As for the tale of Arabella Fuston, that is virtually fabrication from beginning to end. The girl was crippled by a fall, certainly, but it is not known how she fell. Her engagement was broken off, but it is not known why or who broke it. And so far as from staying in her room singing thereafter, she lived to become a respected figure in the vicinity, noted for her work among the poor. The composer, Henry Purcell, was not, to my knowledge, involved in her life in any way. Well, what have you to say?
I'm sorry, but I cannot get myself beyond your own behavior.
Mine?
What you have just done.
Oh, I don't understand.
What you have done here, Miss Schoen, today. I don't mean your rudeness in interrupting my talk, unpleasant as that was. I mean coming here at all in the way you have, pretending to join my group as a simple member of the public. I find that quite despicable.
I beg your pardon?
Deceitful and despicable. It is the behavior, actually, of a spy.
Well, that is what I am. I came here with that specific intention, to observe unnoticed what you were doing.
To spy?
To do my duty.
Duty?
Precisely, my duty. The precise and appropriate word.
To embarrass your employees? That is your duty? To creep about the kingdom with a look of false interest, guidebook in hand, and then pounce on them before the people in their charge? Is that how you conceive your duty? To humiliate subordinates?
And this is a sidetrack.
It is not. It really is not.
A total sidetrack, and you know it. My behavior is not the issue here. Yours. Yours is what we are discussing. It is that which needs explaining. You will report tomorrow afternoon at my office in London. I believe you know the address. 14 Architrave Place. 3 o'clock, if you please.
Report? For what? Report? I don't understand. What do you mean?
I suggest you now attend to the next group of tourists awaiting you, and that you confine yourself strictly to the information provided by the Trust. I will see you at 3 tomorrow. Good afternoon.
I'm to be tried then? I'm to be judged? Held to judgment? Oh dear.
Oh, wonderful.